Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right, so the topic of tonight is forming, and that is basically how you build relationships with people before you even ask them or invite them to be in a challenge group, whether it's a free challenge group or one where they have to actually purchase a program. So what does it stand for? The F in forming is for family. So a lot of times, especially when I'm talking to somebody brand new from like an ad that I posted, I like to start by asking where they're from, are they married, do they have kids, just to get an idea and try to find something to connect with them on. And then of course I'll share something about, my family as well. Tell them that my husband and I work out together. We don't have any kids yet. I have a fur baby, Simba. But just a way to kind of get to know them a little bit more. Now, if it's somebody that you're already friends with, you probably will know a lot of this already. So in that scenario, what I'll do is try to connect with something that they recently posted on their Facebook wall related to their family or their kids. Just make a comment like, oh, your daughter was so cute today on her back to school photo or whatever, just something to like lighten the mood when you're first, reaching out to them again. Okay. The next letter, O, stands for occupation. So again, this becomes more of a conversation when it's someone you don't already know very well. But you want to get to know what they do for a living. Where do they work? Who is their employer? This is very important too. A lot of times I'll ask, well, are you happy with what you do? And 99% of the time people say no. And, it's just a way to connect again. And because so many people feel that way about their jobs, I'll say that, yeah, my job is stressful too. A lot of times I'm working really long hours and, there's a lot of ups and downs and that sort of thing. It's, another way, again, just to make a connection with them. You can also go into what do their spouses do if they're married. And then, of course, again, sharing about what you do. I oftentimes will say, I'm a financial advisor, but I'm also a health and fitness coach. So it kind of gives them that double layer of what I do. And, sometimes I'll elaborate on that if they want. Again, if you already know the person, you probably know what they do. But if you can find something to connect with on that level, if they posted something about, having a stressful day at work, again, just use that as something to bring into the conversation. And then the R is recreation. So what do they do for fun? Do they have any hobbies that they do on a pretty regular basis? Another good one is, where do you like to vacation? And I like to wrap that all up with, what do you wish that you had more time to do that you enjoy? So this is another good way to tie in the coaching opportunity down the road. Once you have all this information and you know what they would like to do more of, sometimes it's spending more time with their kids. Sometimes it's traveling more often. It's another way when you bring up a coaching conversation later on to say, hey, you mentioned that you would like to travel to ABC country or whatever. And this might be a way to help you build an extra fund savings for that opportunity. Or, hey, you mentioned that you'd like to, spend more time watching your kids grow up and not having to work as much. And this opportunity could possibly allow you that down the road as you build your business. So just talking points. A lot of times what I try to do is when I'm tracking who I've talked to, is I'll make little notes about these things. So that way, when I come back to talk to them later about the coaching opportunity, it's something to go back to and bring up that, hey, you told me this. Maybe this is an opportunity for you that will help you to reach those goals. And of course, again, sharing what you like to do for fun as well. And this is where I would tie in, what Coaching Opportunity has done for me and allowed me to, well, for me, it's paid down some of my debt. Eventually, I'm hoping it'll help us travel more and that sort of thing. So those are the first 3 that you really want to use to get to know people, or, to connect with them if you already know them pretty well. And then you go into the messaging. So obviously you're already messaging them with the first 3, but this is now you're starting to talk to them about whatever it is you're going to invite them to. So that could be your free accountability group, just something to give them little mini challenges like Carrie, I know you do that. It could be your segue into asking them about their health and fitness goals. And then I posted something about this earlier in the week, really stressing why do they have those goals. And this is something you always want to write down next to their name. So again, for future reference, when they are struggling, you can bring it back up and say, hey, you told me that you wanted to lose this weight so you could spend more time with your kids. Okay, so has that changed? And usually, it hasn't, and it's that extra motivation to get them back on track. And then, of course, another one I like to always bring up is what are some of the biggest struggles? It gives me an idea of what I need to focus on with that particular challenger. If it's, their meal prep, for example, I'm going to be on them about that one thing, mostly in private messaging, but I'll be on them on that one particular struggle that they have. And then, of course, the providing solution. So once you've gone through all the forming and you've got an idea what some of their goals are, what some of their struggles are, you can come up with a recommendation for them. So that's where I will provide a program that I think fits their particular situation. Okay. Or a free accountability group. Again, it just depends what you're trying to help them out with. Okay, and to wrap that up, this is going to be kind of a short call tonight, but to wrap that up, it's, it's a very important part of this whole process for many reasons. First and foremost, it's showing your challengers that you really care about them specifically, and you're not just trying to sell them something. You're trying to help them reach these goals that they have, because whatever their reasoning is for wanting to reach those goals, and you're helping them put a plan in place. It's showing that you're willing to put forth effort to really get to know who they are and really understand what their problems have been in the past, and to put a plan in place to help them overcome those struggles. Again, it makes you a whole lot less salesy, and it helps you to make connections with people. And of course, it builds trust in the long run. Even if it's someone who initially says, no, I can't do this right now, you have spent the time getting to know them, and you have notes, with whatever your tracking device is, to go with that person. So when you come back to them later, maybe it's a couple months down the road, you can say, oh, hey, how's whatever your kid's name is, how are they doing in school? If it was something they brought up before, or hey, how's your everything going as far as, you wanted to travel? Did you guys plan your next trip? Whatever it is, you have something to go back to. And again, that's just going to build trust over time. They're going to feel like they really know you, and you're actually one of their good friends, because you're paying a lot more attention to those little details. So I think that's really the gist of what I wanted to say. I'm going to unmute you. Okay. Does that all make sense, or do you have any questions, Carrie?
Oh, no, it makes sense. Yeah. I need to work on my messaging.
Yeah, it's honestly, I really struggled with it when I first started. And I think most coaches do because they get so excited about the opportunity and wanting to like share what they're doing that they just, Chrissy calls it word vomit. And I was like, I sent her a message that I sent to one of my first like people prospects. And she was like, whoa, you are word vomiting all over that person. And it was just, instead of taking the time to like ask them questions, I was just throwing all this information at them. And that's not the way to do it. You want to really get to know them and know what they want and make it all about them, versus, just trying to throw all that information in their face, because it's going to be overwhelming to a lot of people and they're going to feel like you're just trying to sell them on something.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I mean, it's a process to really learn how to do it well. And it's something, at first I was like, well, I just want to share what I'm doing. Like, I don't understand why I have to get to know these people. I was just so excited, but it really has made a big difference, especially when I'm posting ads and trying to reach out to new people that way. I've noticed that by asking them a question in my first message about them, and actually going on their page and connecting with something specific on their page, I've like drastically increased the response rate. It used to be I would just copy and paste the message, say, hey, thanks for liking this. Are you interested? Basically. And I would get like crickets all the time. So now it's more like, hey, thanks for showing love to my post. I took a look at your page and whatever it is that I'm going to connect with, I see you work at wherever. I know somebody else who does that, whatever you choose to connect with on their page. And then I follow up with a question. How long have you been doing that? Or are those your kids in the photo? Whatever that you think would help you to connect with that person. And then you ask them a question and they're more likely to get back to you right away. At least within a couple days. So it's been a learning process for me too, but definitely notice that I get much more response. And it's still not perfect. I mean, I'm still not getting as many challengers as I would like from this process, but the important thing is I'm learning from it and the conversations are getting better. So it's a learning process. So, all right. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to keep it pretty short tonight, because I don't really have much else to add on that. But yeah, I guess my homework for you would be, anyone who wants to listen to this, next time that you have a conversation with a new person, I want you to actually physically write down next to the person's name on a piece of paper what questions you asked them in each of those categories. What did you ask them about their family? What did you ask them about your occupation? What did you ask them about their recreation? Okay, and then I want you to take a photo of that and send it to me. And I'm going to help and kind of critique, your conversation with them as well. Okay. Oops, I don't want to share this. So we're going to stop the share. All right.
Do you have a certain time you want that by?
I would say by next week's Zoom call. So you have a week to do that. And that'll give me some time to look at everything too and do some constructive criticism. Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, Carrie.
No problem.
Hopefully someday we'll have a lot more people on here with us.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good night.
Yeah.
All right. See you later. Bye.